Hi guys, today I want to ask the question, do you have to be antisocial to be creative? And I'm going to reference a really famous psychology experiment called the Ash experiment. This experiment essentially had two lines on a board. One was shorter than the other. Say number one was shorter than number two. And you had 8 participants in the study. Now only one participant was actually a participant. The other 7 were all actors. And they would put the true participant as like number 7. So you'd have 6 actors, but the participant doesn't know it. So 6 actors go beforehand and they all say that number 2 is shorter, which is false. Number 1 is shorter. And it's 2 lines. It's very in your face. You have to deceive yourself to believe otherwise, basically. But when 6 people before the true participant said that number 2 was shorter, or whichever one's wrong, they said that one was shorter. Over half, it was like 2/3, I think, like 66% of people said that number 2 was shorter, even though it wasn't. Which means that they either deceived themselves or knowingly lied to blend in with the group, or some combination of everything. But basically, social pressures are extremely powerful. So the question then is, if you think of art as something that is true, something that is real, something that you are identifying as a real potential, not a potential that will fall flat on its face, not a potential that will combust in itself, like self-explode or self-disintegrate or something like that. Something that actually works out, that you have it in your head that this is an idea that is capable and deserving of life and time, and it deserves to be realized. The potential deserves to be realized. So if you view art or creativity, whether it's business or art or whatever it is, whether you view that as something, you moving towards something true, and it's you on your own as an individual moving, not bringing society, not trying to convince everyone, because as we said yesterday, we do not want to try and convince our elders. We do not need to convince our parents that this new diet is amazing. We just need to do the bloody diet. We don't need to tell all of our friends that this is the new way of working out. You have to do high intensity interval training, HIIT training. This is the way to build muscle. No, you have to do steps. No, you have to do feckin' time under tension. No, you have to, there's a load of theories. Everyone has a theory. Just live it and go do it, essentially. That was yesterday's video, whatever. To do that, you need to be separate from the group. And depending on how weird or wonderful your idea is, you might have to be really separate from the group. So my thought on this is, you don't necessarily need to be antisocial, because antisocial implies that you are clumsy in a social situation. You are naive to the nuance. You are unknowingly stepping on people's toes to get, as you're getting your point across, or as you're just conversing with them. There's an unseen thing happening. That's what to be antisocial is. It's like, I don't understand why people all need to have this small talk. I don't understand why people like me remembering their names. It doesn't make any difference. It's not important to me. That's when you don't understand, when you don't see why. That's kind of antisocial. So I don't think you have to be that. Maybe that will lead you towards creativity or something like that, but you don't have to be antisocial. But what you do potentially have to be able to do is to be able to zoom out and just see the fact that we're all playing a game, we're all playing a role, that you recognize the social pressures. I am remembering your name consciously now because I know that in the future you will respond better to me if I remember your name, and you're someone that I do want to stay in touch with, or I want to impress, or for whatever reason. I'm going to try and consciously remember. I'm going to tell my puppet, I'm going to tell my biology, the meat sack in me, not the higher consciousness that wants to explore big ideas and all the rest, but the everyday mundane person that does the grind and all the rest. I want to etch it into that person that this is your name, you have 2 kids, you are related to this other person, and whatever details that will make you friendlier to me. Not because I find it super interesting, but because I know that you will respond better if I remember those things. Is to be socially aware of just that. Or just socially aware that when someone smiles at you, you tend to smile back, or you tend to wave back. It's like, yeah, it's kind of some bit pointless, but it's just a courtesy. It doesn't mean you have to go against it. It doesn't mean you have to be just, everything doesn't need a reason, or everything doesn't need a reason that orientates around yourself. Basically. In the fact that, okay, maybe I don't want to impress you, and maybe you matter nothing to me, you're just a stranger that I have never met before and I will never meet again, but you smile and you wave at me out of courtesy, so I don't break your flow, so I don't break whatever good mood you seem to be in. I'm going to smile and wave back. That is acknowledging the social situation, acknowledging that this isn't an impulse coming from within me or anything like that. It is something that there is some social pressure on me to do it, and I'm accommodating it because for the good of the other person, or for whatever reason. It can be selfish, it can be selfless, it can be like whatever. But just be aware. So that is my answer to, do you have to be antisocial to be creative? I say no. I say you don't have to be naive to what social pressures are around you, or to why you fulfill it, or why other people fulfill it. It is totally saying that while you might be very comfortable fulfilling such social expectations, it is still okay to be weirded out by other people who fulfill it absent-mindedly. It's like, why'd you wave back to that person? Because, of course I'd wave back to that person. Why wouldn't I? That they'd think badly of me, and then you get into all this. They're like, the social pressure is everything, and they're not zoomed out and just being like, I just want him to have a good day. That's a separate issue. Anyway, okay, that's the answer. That's my answer to it. But there's the study. That is a study that 6 people go before the true participant. They all say that the long line is shorter than the short line, and the participant, 66%, I think it's roughly 2/3, I can't remember the exact number, will agree with the people that came before them because of fear of being outed as different, shown as different, or else they just deceive themselves because they trust the mass intelligence more than they trust their individual intelligence, or their perception. Maybe not intelligence is a poor word for that, but the perception of the mass overrules their individual perception, because surely that many people can't be wrong. That's it. Okay, I've said that's it so many times. Seriously, that's it. Okay, end of video. Goodbye. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.